I remember back in episode 1, we talked about loneliness. We talked about how pastors can feel isolated even when they're surrounded by people. And I remember how important that was, just to say it out loud, to admit it's real. But I've been thinking about that a lot since then. And honestly, I'm really excited about today's episode because this one is different. This isn't just about feeling lonely. This is about what we actually do about it.
Welcome to Pastors in Recovery, a podcast dedicated to ministry leaders and pastors navigating the challenges of their own hurts, hang-ups, and habits. Hosted by John Hammond, a grateful believer in Jesus Christ and a pastor on the road of recovery. This space is here to remind you that God's grace is bigger than any struggle. Each episode brings real stories of redemption, practical tools for healing, and encouragement rooted in Christ's promise of renewal. You don't have to walk this journey alone. Let's explore how God meets us in our brokenness and brings light to our darkest moments. Welcome to the conversation.
So let me just say this plainly. A lot of us aren't just lonely. We're not pursuing connection, not because we want to be alone, but because something is holding us back. And most of us were never taught how. Now let me be clear. Alone time isn't the enemy. Jesus stepped away from the crowds. Jesus rested. Jesus withdrew. But isolation is different. Solitude refills you. Isolation slowly drains you. If your alone time leaves you refreshed, that's healthy. If it leaves you disconnected, pay attention. This is where most of us get stuck. Connection sounds good until it requires initiative. What if it's awkward? What if they're busy? What if I don't fit in? But most people aren't rejecting you. They're just waiting, just like you are. And there's another layer to this. Shame. When I've struggled, when I've fallen, my instinct isn't connection, it's hiding. Shame will tell you, stay back. Don't let anyone see you. Clean up yourself up first. And before you know it, you're not just struggling, you're isolated. And here's the lie. Everyone knows. They can see it on me. They know what I've been doing. But they don't. People can't see your sin just by looking at you. That voice telling you they can, that's not the truth. Here's what I've had to learn. First, get right with God. Bring it into the light with Him. Second, receive His forgiveness. It's not earned, just receive it. And thirdly, forgive yourself. Don't stay where God hasn't left you. And then, don't stay alone. James 5:16 says, confess your faults one to another and pray for one another that you may be healed. Confession isn't about punishment, it's about healing. If you have a sponsor, start there. That's a safe place. And after that, take the next step. You don't have to tell your whole story. You just have to stop hiding. Make the call, send the text, set up the coffee. If connection feels like a task, you won't keep doing it. So don't make it heavy. Coffee, not counseling. Golf, not pressure. A walk, not an agenda. Some of the best connection happens, when you're not trying so hard. If your life is full, ministry, wife, kids, connection won't just fit in. You're going to have to make room for it. Put it on the calendar. Schedule it like a meeting. Protect it like it matters. Because if it's not scheduled, it usually doesn't happen. You don't need a whole circle, one person. It's a great place to start. A lot of us already have opportunities. We just don't use them. You're going to a conference. You're going to a retreat, a ministry event. Other pastors are going to be there. So plan it. Reach out ahead of time. Hey, are you going? I think I saw you're going. Would you love to connect? And then take the next step. Hey, I'll be there Tuesday morning. Want to meet at the Starbucks just off site at 7 a.m.? That work for you? Because if you don't set it up, you'll pass each other in the hallway. Say, we should catch up, and never do it. I want to be honest with you. I know the pathway to this, but I still struggle with it. It's not always a knowledge problem, it's a follow-through problem. We know what to do, we just don't always do it. And then there's something else I've seen over and over again. God does help us. You ever notice how often this happens? You're in a store, you're standing in line at a big event, and somehow you run into someone you haven't seen in years. That's not random. I believe God does that. But here's the other side. God may open the door, but he doesn't walk you through it. God won't make the appointment on your calendar for you. Connection is a partnership. God creates the opportunity. We respond with action. So, this week, don't overthink it. One person, one text, one step. You don't have to stay isolated, but you have to choose connection on purpose. If this episode helped you, share it with another pastor who might need it. And if you're ready to take a step, start with one person.
Staring at the midnight sky, counting lights I can't define, endless worlds and distant fires stretching past my human mind. Every mile of space between, every silent galaxy, still I feel it in my soul, something reaching out to me. Before the stars were burning, before the sky was wide, you were already calling, you already had me in mind. And I'm known across the stars, not lost in the dark. You see me right where I am, you call my heart. In the vast unknown, I'm never alone. Before it all began, you already loved me. Riding on this spinning world, just a breath in time and space. Still you whisper through it all, and I can feel your steady grace. Every question in my chest, every doubt I try to hide, you don't turn your face away. You are closer than the night before the first horizon, before the light broke through. You had already written a story that leads me to you. And I'm known across the stars, not lost in the dark. You see me right where I am, you call my heart. In the vast unknown, I'm never alone. Before it all began, you already loved me. What is man that you would see? Every hidden part of me, dust and breath, yet still I'm known by the one who made it all. If your love can hold the sky, then it's holding me tonight. And I'm known across the stars, not lost in the dark. You see me right where I am, you call my heart. In the vast unknown, I'm never alone. Before it all began, you already loved me. You already loved me.
As we close today, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for taking the time to listen and for being part of this community. If this episode encouraged you, helped you, or made you feel less alone, I want to invite you to subscribe and leave a comment. That small step really does help this podcast reach other pastors who need it. If you'd like to support Pastors in Recovery, you can give using the link in the podcast description. Just $2 a month makes a real difference in the lives of other pastors who are walking through recovery and need encouragement. You can also listen to music created specifically for this podcast by searching for Crashing Lyrics on Spotify, Apple Music, or other music platforms. All episodes of Pastors in Recovery are available on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts. You can also visit us at pastorsinrecovery.com, where you'll find episodes, music, and additional resources. We do this podcast for one reason: to remind pastors they are not alone, that healing is possible, and that God is still at work, even in recovery. Thanks for listening, and remember, recovery is possible.